Hey, this is Liam, and I want to talk about something that you've probably been through. Now, when you got tinnitus or your noise sensitivity, tinnitus, hyperacusis, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, you likely went and saw a GP, and that GP referred you to an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat doctor, maybe a psychiatrist even, if they think they're going to put you on some drugs. And through the process of determining that you have tinnitus and figuring it out and going online and scaring the living shit out of yourself with those horrible stories from people who don't know what they're talking about, through that process somewhere along the line, you would have got a hearing test. Now, a hearing test is where they put you in a soundproof booth, give you headphones, and there are different variations, but the gist is that they play you words and they play you tones. And they try to distinguish or uncover where you might have some hearing loss, okay? When you come out of the booth, they show you the two lines and they say, well, Liam, or whatever your name is, you have hearing loss right here, and here's what's happened. You've probably broken your hair cells, and because of that, your brain doesn't like the gaps in your hearing, and so what it's doing is it's filling in this phantom noise, and what you can hear is your brain filling in the gaps because your brain doesn't like gaps, and some other stuff they tell you as well. Now, I've got some really good news, and that's total horse shit. Let me ask you this. Have you seen an image of your broken hair cells? Did they do a specific test or do a specific scan and show you, look, here are your broken hair cells inside the cochlea? They're called stereocilia. You can see here they've been sheared off, or you can see here they've been bent, you can see they've been broken. Here they are. Have you seen that? I already know the answer. And the answer is fuck no, okay? You haven't heard that, you haven't seen that, sorry, at all. What they're doing is they're guessing. Now, that would make perfect sense. You give someone a bit of information and you can infer from that potentially this has happened. If I fall over and I hit my elbow on the floor while I'm skateboarding or something, I go, oh, that really, really hurts. I feel a bit sick. Oh, that's a sign of a broken bone potentially. Go to the doctor. Doctor, this really hurts. I can't extend it. It might be broken. It could be, right? But what do? You do further testing. You go and get a further scan. And then you see, okay, we can see here, we took an x-ray of your elbow, and yes, you have a hairline fracture, or you've totally broken the bone completely, and let's go from here. Now, for whatever reason, ENTs completely skip that step, whether out of necessity or whether out of the fact that they don't have the technology for you right then and there to do that. And they just skip straight ahead to saying it's broken. You need to spend all this money. You need to get tinnitus retraining therapy, okay? But here's the even crazier part, and that is that the test itself is flawed, the hearing test. So let's go back and look at the hearing test itself. You're in a soundproof booth, you're wearing headphones, okay, and they've closed the door so you can't hear anything. Let me ask you this, watching right now. Is your tinnitus going to be louder if you're walking next to the ocean and there's noise playing and there's a road there and that you can hear background noise? Are you going to hear your tinnitus more then, or are you going to hear it more in the soundproof booth? Obviously the answer is the soundproof booth. So your tinnitus has been amplified simply because there's no other noise around, okay, to smother that noise. A lot of you might use a fan or ocean noises, or if you listen to me, you might have a water fountain thing plugged in to help you deal with the noise and cover it and help you relax and help you sleep. And those things are great for that. There is something to be said about sleeping in complete silence, but that's a different video. As in silence is in background noise, but that's a complete different video altogether. So you're in this soundproof booth and they're playing you these noises, ooh, 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 and so on and so forth, and words. But let's focus on the noises for now. If they play you a noise that is loud and is a different tone to your tinnitus, you're probably going to hear it. But when you put the headphones on and the noise of the tinnitus itself doesn't increase, but your capacity to hear it increases, and so you have the cans on, there's no background noise. When they play a low note, a low ringing or a hissing, sorry, there was someone at my door just then. When they play you a low ringing, okay, doesn't it make sense that just perhaps, this is crazy, I know, this is just totally crazy thinking. I know I'm off the planet at the moment, I'm out of line. But wouldn't it make sense that feasibly, possibly, could you fathom for a moment, could you just get rid of your disbelief, okay? Imagine for a second, contemplate the possibility that your tinnitus is loud enough to drown out the sound of that ringing of certain pitches. So then when we just consider that crazy hypothesis that's way out of left field here, wouldn't it make sense that it's not hearing loss? And in fact, the sound of your tinnitus is smothering the noise. So why then would ENTs say that you definitely have hearing loss? Because we can see it here. And yes, it would show up on the graph as hearing loss. But is it really hearing loss, or is your capacity to hear the noise of the ringing and the buzzing that they give you been smothered and interfered with from your tinnitus? So is it interference or is it hearing loss? So then with that information, how do we really know that your stereocilia is broken? Now, I'm not saying that no one ever has broken stereocilia. I've seen the videos, I've seen the footage, I can understand that they do break. But then let's consider this. Why is it that so many people, including myself, have been to an ENT and had a hearing test and been told they have broken hair cells, and that broken hair cells are irreparable, which I do to an extent believe as well, irreparably damaged. But why then are so many people silencing their tinnitus after they've been told that they have irreparable damage to their stereocilia, which is hair cells, by the way? So what is it? Is it that hair cells can be fixed? Or is it just maybe, and I know this, I'm trying to wrap my head around this just for a second because the test they do is just flawless. But could it be potentially, hypothetically, theoretically, can we just try and wrap our heads around this, suspend your disbelief? Could it be that the hearing test is just a way to get you in there, tell you have irreparable damage, and get you to buy something? Okay, now I'm not saying all ENTs are bad, but how can they not see that your tinnitus can smother the sound of the hearing test? These are people who spend over 8 years in medical school. These are experts. These are very intelligent people. There is no doubt about that. So ask yourself this. Is it that they don't see that complete ridiculous fault in this test, and that they don't actually check your hair cells specifically? Is it they don't understand that after all these years? Or is it that it's just a great way to make money? What do you think it is? If you have to think about it, there is someone at the door now. I'm going to end this video now, but I want you to think about those things, okay? Talk soon.